Welcome to the Goat Shed with another one of our super helpful repair videos. Although today we haven't had to do an awful lot on this game, but we're going to go through some of the features and functions of Gottlieb's Strange World. But before we do, it's Thursday, the 18th of August 2022. It's 13 degrees Celsius outside, a little overcast, which is roughly 55.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, Strange World is a machine that was produced in February of 1978, according to the IPDB, and there were 675 of these produced. So it was getting up toward the end of the electromechanical era, not quite there, but very close. Now, there wouldn't be too many of these in Australia, I wouldn't imagine, and this one was actually imported from California in the USA, just under 2 years ago. The owner brought it over, and when he did, we fitted a Australian transformer to it and made sure it all worked. Now, with our annual Pinfest coming up in September, the owner is putting in this game and a surfer, which we previously have done a video on. Now, Strange World was designed by John Osborne, who was one of the designers that came through later in the stages of Gottlieb's life. I think John started in the 70s, and he did a few games like Hit the Deck, Blue Note, Rockstar, Haunted House. I think I've missed one or two there, but I think you get the picture. But Strange World, this particular one, is in pretty good condition. Now, let's just have a little look at the cabinet. As we can see it there, the cabinet is really nice. Really doesn't need hardly any work on it. The front door and everything is quite nice. So there's the door, and front of cabinet. Got nice legs, they're pretty good. So it's not in bad condition, this one. The playfield. The playfield is in fairly good condition, but a lot of the inserts are cupped badly. Like that one there's quite deep, that one as well. There's a blemish there with the paintwork, which you can see. But other than that, it's quite normal wear and tear on a game this age. That obvious blemish there comes from the kick-out hole, one would imagine. All the pop bumper bodies and caps look in nice condition. And the back glass is quite good. There is a scratch near the replay window. Very, very, very fancy back glass, isn't it? Very full of life and colours. It looks so vibrant. I think that's obviously a Gordon Morrison back glass. We've got characters everywhere. I'm not sure whether this Strange World represented any particular thing or a culmination of many things. It's probably more the case, you know. We can see the lady diving away there. There's like Superman in the blue there, and all sorts of other characters. This one has an over the top, you can see there in the back glass. So just below the 4 you've got the white square or oblong, that's for over the top. Oh, there's Spanky, had to get in the photo. Now, the only things we've found we've had to do on this machine are really in the back box. So let's just have a little look there. So here we are in the back box. Now, you'll notice the ball count unit folded down there. Now, one thing that was occurring with this machine, when you got up around 5th ball, the power would just cut to the machine. Now, this is one of those machines where the ball count unit has the 6th position on it. and that's the end of game or game over. And it doesn't have a game over relay, and that cuts power. So what we discovered was the switch on the last step was a little bit too close to opening prematurely and could vibrate loose, so we've adjusted that. So that's this switch here. So the very last switch on the stack, so where the white peg hits it. So if we reset that unit, and then we can step up, which I just have to use my other hand to do so. So we're now at 0, ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, ball 4. Now at ball 5, that switch should open. Or position 6, I should say, which it did. It's just folded down there. It just hesitated a little bit because it was leaning on something. But yeah, that opens at the 6th position. So there, that's fixed that up. So we'll turn the game on now and we'll go through the features. So the game's on. We'll start it up. Alright, we're ready to go. Now, I guess the whole idea of this game is to get all your targets out. So you have greens, whites and yellows. Now, if you were to light any one of those 1, 2, 3, 4 by hitting the targets, rollovers, on the horizontal, that will light the special hole, which will alternate off the score motor every 3rd turn. If you end up lighting the yellow, then the white, or the green, it doesn't matter in order, and you ended up getting the whole lot of them out, the special will stay on all the time. Now, being a single player game, once you get special, it doesn't go out, it stays on the whole game, so that's good. But the other thing on this game is that you see 5,000 when lit on certain corresponding numbers. The way you get that alight is that even if you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow out, that won't light a 5,000 when lit. What you've got to do is get it on the vertical that way. So you light yellow 3, white 3 and green 3, and that will light the 5,000 points instead of 500 points. So overall it's a reasonably simple game. It's no drop targets. Like we said, this was really getting toward the end of the electromechanical period. So yeah, just a bit different, I guess. So if we were to sort of play that, we'll fire the ball up. Oh, I guess it's probably easier if I do it this way manually. Let's just roll over the whites at the top. So white is all now lit. If I were to hit the green 3 and the yellow 3, notice what's happened now. The 5,000 when lit's come up against the 3 on the targets. One over here, one over here, and one right up the top here. So if I roll over that now, that's 5,000 points. Now we've got our specials alight, so we roll over something else, go out, and it'll come on this time. So it's back on. Bit hard to see that, isn't it? There you go, that's a bit better. We'll pop that in there, and you heard the knocker go off. So that's how this game more or less works. The object is to get those targets out as quickly as you can, and then you can go for it and get a whole heap of replays. Don't believe there was an 8-ball game made for this. No, I don't think there was. So this particular game we'll go out to our annual Pinfest, as I mentioned, and it'll be lined up with the other John Osborne games. Now underneath, what happens is that you've got a big trip bank with 12 coils on it, 12 relays, of course representing 3x4 here. And let's show you underneath this game just so you can see what it is. It's nothing different than any other Gottlieb game, but it's still worth a look. So here's with the hood lifted up, very clean inside this game, and it's obviously been well looked after. Interesting to note that this is a machine made in the 1978, and you'd expect there to be a lot more relays in it on the motorboard than there is. There's only 8 relays on the motorboard, sort of almost going back to the 60s. But you can see the positions on the score motor for stack D and E, which are these larger pegs here. That large peg, that controls the lights or the specials frequency. So remember we spoke about every third turn of the score motor, that high peg is position E. The one there is position D. We did an extensive video on demystifying score motors some time ago, probably over a year ago. It'd be well worth looking in our video library and having a look and reviewing that, so you can refresh your memory if you haven't already looked at it, or please have a look at it. And also when you're looking at our videos, please remember to like our videos by giving us the big thumbs up, and of course subscribing to our channel. We don't need to remind you to do that, do we now? There's the trip bank. So that's got the 12 relays in it, and one controls white, 4 for white, 4 for yellow and 4 for green. And you can actually see the lamp lit up there. Second from the right, that's the 5,000 point lamp, because we got the vertical of the number 3s. So hope everyone follows that. That's how that works. We've had to put a new line cord on it. You can see the white cord up the back there. That was important. And we put an Australian transformer in there. Rather than use a step down transformer, we removed the American transformer and put an Australian one in. The only other big difference with American and Australian games is America works off 60 Hertz, Australia works off 50 Hertz. From what we've learnt now, a 50 Hertz motor doesn't work too well in the USA, but in Australia it doesn't seem to matter with a 60 Hertz. So that's a bit of an interesting phenomenon, but that seems to be the way it is. So pretty much all we've had to do on the bottom board, we just checked the fuses were all okay and the correct rating. I can't emphasize enough how important that is. You see so many fuses that are incorrect. You know, in the 10 amp circuit the other day we found a 25 amp fuse in a game. You know, that's potential fire hazard. You don't want that. You don't want to see a game burn down or catch fire because of a poorly rated or badly rated fuse, or incorrectly rated fuse, I'm sorry. So overall, this is a very clean game, very nice game, and it should run well at Pinfest. And hopefully the patrons who attend that festival will be able to enjoy playing this particular game. So I think that's about all we can tell you about Strange World. And I guess having said that, we'll say that this has been another Goat Shed presentation.